wondering where's Amazon going?
Yeah, so I think it'll be a fantastic, entry point for one of our main gateways. That when you approach Victoria, you'll see a big sign for Amazon. You'll see a big sign for Caterpillar, for FedEx, Victoria College. You'll see all of these really cool new development national brands, and it'll be a really great entrance to Victoria on a brand new interstate highway.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Town Talk. Of course, we're always here to talk about the town, things that impact this city and community. And so who better to have than our regional partner over here, Victoria Economic Development Corporation, Jonas Titus. Jonas, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to this.
We're so glad you're here. I know we've been trying to get you on our schedule, so thank you for making time.
My pleasure.
So I know you've got a chock full of items that you want to talk about and share with us. Obviously, a lot of which you and I have been able to talk about through Citizens Academy for one, other ventures going on. So can you start by telling us, first of all, what does VEDC do?
Yeah, so we've officially rebranded last year to be VEDC Regional Partnership to kind of take on that regional brand now that it's not only Victoria proper, but we've had cities and counties and ports adjacent to Victoria join VEDC, so it'd be more emblematic of a regional organization.
So I know you focus on region, and then you've got Danielle Williams, who focuses more on the city's economic development. But what is the distinction there, and how does it, your out of the city limits, maybe businesses and suppliers benefit the city?
Yeah, I mean, we work in concert with Danielle, so a lot of our projects do overlap. Several of our projects are within the city of Victoria, so our focus is more some of the big industries, some of the distribution projects, some of the large job creators, where Danielle's office focuses on a lot of the retail, a lot of the downtown initiatives, and so it allows us to kind of be free to work with some of the folks that have significant needs for water, sewer, electricity, you name it. So our recent regional initiative has just been trying to be a good neighbor in Victoria. Is just offering our staff, our resources, our abilities to better market the region and bring projects in, because we know that if something is going to happen in Calhoun County or Edna or Port Lavaca or Goliad, it's much better for us than if it were to locate in Louisiana or Oklahoma. That
absolutely
creates an opportunity for citizens of Victoria to work in those potential new job opportunities.
Right. So what are some of those benefits other than job opportunities? That's a big one, by the way. I know you talk about that a lot, is bringing more jobs and job opportunities to Victoria and the region. Yeah,
certainly. Well, it just gives us more assets, more resources to throw. I mean, we're literally throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks. So if we have more pieces of spaghetti to throw, that gives us more chances of being successful. So, we're able to put out more sites. We're able to put out more workforce pipelines, more school districts, more, you name it. Everything is just a little bit more. And it's very competitive. I always like to say in the economic development world, with every project that is won in Texas, there's 253 counties that lose. So we have a low batting average by design. And so if we're able to up that or create more opportunities for us, it's only to our benefit. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you mentioned projects. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about some that are in the pipeline?
Yeah, so this has been certainly a golden era of economic development. We're very bad about naming things at VEDC, but we've never seen a pipeline like this in our history. So we've got $25 billion worth of projects looking in and around Victoria. I mean, to put that in context, Caterpillar is one of our greatest historical wins.
Right.
That was a $250 million project. So we've had a singular project that has announced that's over $3 billion. We were and another active one that's $10 billion in and of itself.
Jeez.
So as the projects get larger, they get a lot more complex, and there's a lot more scrutiny and due diligence to making sure that they're going to make a good investment.
Wow, and that grew within a time frame of, did you say 10 years?
Yeah. Wow. So
that's very recent.
Yeah. I mean, earlier in my career, I worked on a project when I was living and working in Kerrville, and we got a company to establish an operation there, and it was a $24 million project. And I was like, oh, holy cow, I've never seen any dollar figure that large.
No kidding.
But here we are in and around Victoria, multiple projects, several $1 billion apiece, and thousands of jobs.
Yeah, that's amazing. And obviously, I know as a city, we can immensely, I cannot speak today, benefit from that.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yeah, so even if these projects do locate outside of Victoria, I mean, those folks have to live somewhere. They have to shop somewhere.
Right.
So being the regional hub, having something located on the periphery of Victoria is a great win for Victoria.
That's a good way to put it. I know Danielle talks a lot about the Retail Trade Center and, kind of what that area looks like in Victoria. People do commute from the surrounding counties and areas, and they come into Victoria, they shop, they dine. So
And if
that's
we're
great.
able to get more wealth in the region and more disposable incomes, it makes her job hopefully a little bit easier.
Absolutely. I know Mayor Jesus, Danielle, they were talking all the time about growing Victoria.
Certainly.
So thank you for your support in that and help doing that.
Our pleasure.
So what are some of the projects that have come to fruition that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate to be able to make quite a few announcements at the Port of Victoria and Seadrift. And then also working in our partners in and around with the Caterpillar Supplier Initiative. So there's been several of those announced. Port of Victoria has had several new green chemical projects announced. At the Dow campus in Seadrift, there's been a rare earth element project announced. There's been the small modular nuclear reactor project announced. And so you add all those up, that's almost 1,300 new primary jobs and $6 billion of capital investment.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Where can we find out more information about that?
Well, our website, victoriaedc.com, as well as our social media. We try and shoot out as we can always be better, but we have a small team of 3.
Sure.
So
you do what you can.
We do what we can, but we
Yeah.
try and spread the word. We also have those in this building, Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. We have our partnership meeting where we always try and talk about what's happening and what's going on, and all the public is welcome to attend that.
Yeah, I've been to a few and love it. Of course, I've got to drop off the kids in the morning, so sometimes I do have to miss.
Yes.
I know recently y'all were talking about the real estate market too, right? Y'all had someone come in and speak to that.
Yeah,
and
Nancy
then
Garner, our former board chair.
Nancy, that's who it was. And
She comes in periodically,
Yeah.
and she's shares her expertise and knowledge of what's happening in the market. Yeah.
And then I think y'all did have Sean Steibeck with the port.
Yes, and we had one of the representatives of First Ammonia come, and they brought one of their team based in New York to Victoria and showed them around and introduced them to everybody and brought them to City Council.
I remember
evening.
seeing him there at City Council. That was great.
Yeah.
Cool. And then y'all just had a regional partnership, not just the Tuesday morning meetings, but actually a meeting, I think it was at UHV, right? Can you tell us about that?
So one of the things that we're trying to be better at VEDC, I think historically we have been chided as being, a pretty closed organization. So we're trying to be better about sharing with the public the things that we're working on and also sharing with our membership. So we did historically have 2 opportunities to pull our full membership together, and that was our annual and semi-annual meeting. And we're trying to have those a little bit more frequent. So we're doing those quarterly. We're trying to put together a program, and they are typically function around, we do like a happy hour and try and have it in a regional asset that we can show off and kind of talk about some of the great things that are happening in and around Victoria. And so the most recent one was at UHV because higher education is a priority in this legislative session. And we're working hard to improve that, that resource and that availability for our best and brightest here in Victoria.
UHV is a gem here. Having a local university in a community, our city manager will say it himself, is a great economic driver for a city.
And I quote the mayor often, and he says, real cities have strong universities.
Yeah, he does say that. It's funny. We all start to speak the same lingo because really we all help each other in our goals and initiatives, which ultimately is for our community and region, to your point. So speaking of the legislative session, Jonas, did you guys recently go to the Capitol?
Yes.
And have some meetings there?
Yeah, so we've made a couple.
about?
Yeah, we've made a couple trips lately. So VEDC, we had our Chairman Circle event, and that has really grown in scope and focus and, I think enthusiasm. Historically, we've brought about 8 to 10 folks with us and,
from
provided.
Victoria.
Yes, some of our Chairman Circle members is part of our, we have different thresholds of membership. So our highest level of investment is our Chairman Circle. And we've, every legislative session brought those folks to Austin and tried to provide some access for them so that they can interact with, our elected leadership. But VEDC, our private membership base is growing, which is fantastic. We have got a lot of new energy and enthusiasm behind us. We've had a lot of new folks join VEDC. So as we shot out the invitations this year, we had 40 people accept invitations. So
40 compared to 8, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So this was quite a showing by our business community and our partners to go to Austin, and we had a half-day event. and we had meetings with water experts, electricity experts, our new state representative, A.J. Lauterbach, and Senator Lois Kolkhorst was with us. And so we got to talk about some of the pressing needs in the region. And then 2 weeks later, we joined the Port and the Chamber in their legislative days and legislative planning conferences in Austin, and also were able to use both of those kind of forums to also schedule meetings with legislators. And we had a really, really good meeting with Senator Perry, who's the one tasked with drafting the new state water bill. And so we're able to make him aware of some of the projects that the Port of Victoria is working on.
Right.
And so hopefully that finds its way into the eligible projects for funding and creates the opportunity for this area of the state to be a regional water supply.
Absolutely.
Because we're sitting on a great resource with there's an aquifer that we sit on top of, and below it there's another aquifer, which is a brackish water that we can take the salt out of, process it, drink it, use it for industrial needs, and also sell it to our friends and neighbors that also have water needs.
That is such a huge topic right now that is being discussed statewide, right, is water rights and the limited resources that it has. I know Ken Gill has talked to us about that in the past. And then, of course, we had a few people at the luncheon speak about that. So what is its importance to attracting businesses, and specifically here in the Victoria area?
So, I mean, Texas, as you go further west, it gets more and more arid. And where the population growth is happening is, up and down that Highway 35 corridor.
Right.
And that's right kind of on the border between, the wetter Texas and the drier Texas.
Is that San Marcos area? Is that right?
San Marcos, New Braunfels, Austin, San Antonio, all those fall along those lines. Killeen, Waco. So what you're seeing is a huge population growth, but we only have so much, a finite amount of water. So as that resource becomes more stressed, we have to find, new sources of water, transporting water from areas of the state that has water to areas that doesn't. But also we're seeing tons of new industry and new growth in the economy of Texas. And some of these new technologies are huge consumers of water.
Absolutely.
So that resource becomes even more stressed. So we have to be a little bit more creative about how we create our water sources.
Right.
We're very fortunate here in Victoria to be, on a river that has a river authority that has water rights available to distribute. We also have groundwater rights, and then we have that unexplored resource of that additional aquifer below us, below that aquifer that can be developed as a future water source. Not to mention the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America.
Yes, I almost said that too. I was following. Well, what is the distinction there? Because if a business or major industry is looking to come to an area and how does the amount of water available to them impact their decision to come or not come?
Yeah, it's a huge decision because a lot of these new technologies, a lot of these new green technologies, and not only those that are covered under the Inflation Reduction Act, all the new kind of related to battery technology, ore processing, rare earth elements, all of those use water as part of their process. And as the projects get larger, their needs of water become, significantly larger as well.
Sure.
So it becomes a huge determining factor of whether or not they're going to have one of the fundamental needs for them to do their operation, whether or not they have availability of water.
Right.
So we're trying to be creative and use what we have very, very diligently and responsibly. Sean at the Stuybeck at the Port of Victoria is extremely talented about making sure that he is equitably distributing the groundwater rights that are at his disposal amongst his tenants to make sure that all these projects are comfortable having their needs met for their initial development plans. But we want them to grow as well.
Yeah.
So if they get to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, whatever, we want to make sure that we're thinking ahead and having that resource available to support that, because we want those jobs and we want that investment here in and around Victoria.
Absolutely. That's a lot to think about. So what else do you guys have in y'all's area, efforts, initiatives that are going on?
The other one is just electricity. Texas continues to grow. And so with that comes, more stress on the electric grid. So there's a lot more projects coming to market, but they don't come to market overnight. And then there's also a complicated process of once a power plant or wind farm or solar farm is established to transmit that power to the places that need it. And so
Right.
there's a lot of, right-of-way acquisition, building, and it's a lot more complex process than what I initially would have realized or thought.
Right.
And timelines and availability of transformers and certain things that you need to get electricity from where it's generated to where it's going to be used. It takes some time and it costs a significant amount of money. And so we want to make sure that as there is this huge demand statewide for electricity, part of this legislative initiative is making sure that Victoria has a seat at the table. We don't want a well-organized effort out of Houston or Austin to be able to go into the legislative session and be able to get an audience with the relevant leadership and have their
Right.
needs satisfied with us not even knowing that there was a conversation happening.
Absolutely.
So trying to be a little bit more forthright, keep our foot in the door, keeping our ear to what's happening
Yep.
allows us to say, hey, what about us?
We're here too.
Yeah, we need some too.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to meet with the governor and travel with him on his Asia mission earlier this year, and he's very, very proud about promoting Texas as a leader in AI, leading to Texas being a leader in data centers, Texas being a leader in semiconductors, and we had the opportunity to look him in the eye and say, hey, you can't do all that without Victoria and the area around Victoria. That we're the ones that are doing the initial processing of the ores, the chemicals that you need for those high-tech hubs to be successful and have the raw materials that they need.
I mean, first of all, through the port.
Yeah,
So
100%.
there you go. You got to get through there first to get to the rest of the state.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, what else? I know one of the last topics, and not to close this out too short, but I'm really excited about this one that you kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a long overdue discussion that the community has been waiting to hear more about. I know Mayor even alluded to it at his State of the City speech. You've been kind of hinting at it for, how long has it been? Like the past year?
Almost.
At least that we've all been sitting on pins and needles wondering, what does he mean when he says Project Husky?
Yes. Well, we are.
Is today the day?
Yes. So we're very kind of coy on how we code name projects. Sometimes they come code names. Sometimes we have to name them ourselves. And my personal model is to name them after college football teams in the cities.
Is that what it is?
Of the city where the company is located.
Funny.
So Amazon is based in Seattle, Washington, where the Washington Huskies reside. So,
Nice.
Yes. So we've been calling this Project Husky, and so it is. It has been under construction for quite some time. They even have the landscaping up. I saw yesterday, but we're very happy to announce Victoria as the location of a new last mile distribution center for Amazon here in Victoria.
That is huge.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to tell the residents who might be tuning in thinking, that sounds big, but I don't quite know how to wrap my head around it. Like, what does that truly mean for Victoria?
That means that, when we do purchase things on Amazon, they'll get here quicker.
Yeah.
Those timelines will be shorter. And so, but it's,
yes.
But it's also just synonymous of, outside people realizing that there's economic growth happening here. There's a market here, and they want to be a part of it, and that there's growth and there's a bright future here. And it segues very, very perfectly into the mayor's initiatives of promoting growth. This is
Growing Victoria.
This is a true testament of what that growth looks like is, the biggest businesses in the United States, if not the world, want to be part of Victoria.
Absolutely. Everyone knows Amazon. And so anytime they make an announcement, they're like, where are they going?
Yeah.
And so in a way, in essence, it puts it on the map towards other businesses, right, who are considering coming, or industry coming to Victoria and wondering, where's Amazon going?
Yeah, so I think it'll be a fantastic, entry point for one of our main gateways, that when you approach Victoria, you'll see a big sign for Amazon, see a big sign for Caterpillar, for FedEx, Victoria College, you'll see all of these really cool new development, national brands, and it'll be a really great entrance to Victoria on a brand new interstate highway.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Well, hot off the press, you guys, is this news release that Jonas so graciously provided us. That's going to be going out. When is that going out?
It's going out on Friday. I know this is airing
today
yes.
or next week?
Yeah, it's going out Friday. What is today? The 6th?
So the 14th, because today's the we're
7th.
lost.
Yeah. Sorry. I've been traveling a little bit.
Yeah, I have not, but it's been a week. But this does say the 7th. So
yes, today, Friday the 7th, it's going out today.
Awesome. Okay. And then this episode will debut a few days later on a Tuesday. If you're listening, you're going to be hearing this. And hopefully this garners more attention around it because this truly is a big deal for Victoria, y'all.
And we're very proud of it, yes.
Yeah, lots of good work done. How long was this in the making?
This has well over a year. Okay. So we've kind of, been working with the development team, started actually, I think, I remember right as the mayor was elected. That was one of the first things I was able to tell him that was in the works. And I saw that he was very excited about it. And so he said, get this done.
Yep. He's very good at keeping things under wraps. So, good thing.
And we apologize. Sometimes, we're bound by non-disclosure agreements and protecting confidence of the folks that we're working with. Because sometimes, we do have a low batting average by design. So sometimes they do not come to fruition. And so the folks that we're working with always ask us to keep things quiet. And this is one. I am a horrible poker player. And so I have been itching to scream this from, the highest mountain in town.
Yeah.
But have been, told not to.
Of course. We understand. We understand because when we interview with Danielle, we try and get her to share, like, what's that new business that's coming in over there in that empty lot? And she's like, sorry, I don't have a permit yet. So I get it.
Yep.
Well, real quick, I wanted to read a few of its highlights, if you don't mind.
Certainly.
And thank you again for providing this news release, which everyone should read. I like to read. I hope everyone else does, but also podcasts are good too. So Amazon announced plans to expand its investment in Texas by opening a new delivery station located off of US Highway 59 North in Victoria. Construction recently started on this facility and launch plans are in the early stages. So where on Highway 59 North exactly is it? Can you point that out to me?
Yeah, it's due south of the airport, right next to the TxDOT facility on the new overpass.
I know exactly where that's at.
Yep.
Awesome.
On the north side.
Well, of course, I would be remiss if I did not read our mayor's quote, which says, the city of Victoria continues to be a great place to invest. Growth and development are vital to support the future of Victoria. It's great to see national brands investing and growing at a key gateway to our city. That's Mayor Dwayne Crocker, City of Victoria. And then one final thing that I wanted to mention is the new delivery station will help power the last mile of Amazon's fulfillment process by enabling fast, everyday delivery directly to customers' doorstep. Packages are transported to delivery stations from Amazon fulfillment and sortation centers, and then employees process customer packages for last mile delivery. That is so cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, what else do you have in the pipeline? That was kind of a big one.
We're very happy about that one. Also in the city of Victoria, our recent, Caterpillar supplier recruitment initiatives have been very, very successful. We've been able to host the annual supplier summits in the city of Victoria for the last 3 years. And basically what that means is we have 250 businesses from around the world, from India, Southeast Asia, from all over Europe, here as a captive audience in Victoria for 3 days to show off our product.
Yeah.
And I liken it to an Indian wedding, that we have 3 days to keep them entertained, inebriated, and well-fed, and give them a lot of good information about investing in Victoria. And there's, that facility continues to grow and become more prominent in the Caterpillar system, and so we're seeing a lot of interest in suppliers getting closer to that facility. And just in the last couple of years, we've had 4 that have announced their intent to move to Victoria, and we've got 2 more that we're closely working with as well. So, and those come in all shapes and sizes. They come from ones that will create 50 jobs and invest $40 million to, the smaller kind of specialized fabrication shops. But that really shows the ripple effect of a large industrial facility located in your facility, in your city, is then you get all of that ancillary economic activity that comes with it. So we're very excited about that momentum behind that. And we only think that it's going to get even more prominent, with a lot of the, talk about tariffs and changing trade policy. And, Caterpillar also, their design, or their construction model is really reliant on getting the key components that they need quickly. And post-pandemic, they were met with some challenges, and so they have really kind of exposed some weaknesses that they may have had, and they've really made that a priority to work closer with their suppliers to have that their needed parts a lot closer to that facility. So that all plays into benefiting Victoria in a very, very positive way.
Absolutely. That's great to hear. I know we had talked about it years ago, was the success of bringing Caterpillar here. And so to hear that it's still having a ripple effect is so encouraging and reassuring.
Yeah.
So great work there. Well, I was going to ask you one more random question. This is totally off topic. Do you have a fun fact you'd like to share about yourself? I mean, we didn't even start there.
Yeah.
I know you, Jonas. I see you around, obviously, in the community. And so was there anything you would want to share with our residents who might be getting to know you for the first time?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I'm still a new father. So I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. We're fortunate enough to have both of our kids here in Victoria. I've been here for 3.5 years and we've tried our best to dive right in and become part of the community. And we have just been so warmly welcomed and still appreciate it. So it's been a fantastic move for us. But my fun fact, I think would go with my cup is I'm trying to run the 6, what they call majors, marathons. And so
I would have no idea.
So
You have to tell me more.
2 under my belt. There's 6 majors.
Really?
New York, Boston, Chicago, and then international ones are Berlin, London, and Tokyo.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's the goal. I've run several, but I want to now get the majors. I've got 2 of the 6. So,
oh my gosh. So which 2 of the 6?
I've done New York and did Berlin this past year.
My goodness. What is the difference between a marathon and a major marathon?
Well, just the amount, the major marathon.
I would have thought, but I'm just, what is the mile difference?
It's the same mile difference.
Oh, is it really?
It's just the event itself.
Oh,
so
okay.
There were 2 million people along the course in New York, and there was well over 1 million along the course in Berlin.
My goodness.
And 70,000 people running it. So it's just the scale of the event, and so it was fun. And I was a foreign exchange student in Germany when I was in high school.
Really?
And obviously, grew up, started my career, started my family, started, my life. And so, it's not easy to get to Europe. So I kind of lost contact with my host family. And my host, it was in Berlin.
Right.
And so as I got into this marathon, and I was able to reach out with them. And
you reconnected with them?
I stayed in my old bedroom.
What?
So, yes.
That's crazy. Wow.
And so we spent 3 days with my old host family, and they couldn't have been more gracious hosts. And
I bet.
took my wife and I all around the city and showed us all the new things.
That is so nice.
It was a fantastic experience.
Man, you have lived.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
I can't even say I've run any half marathons. Wish I could. But that's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I had a random fun fact I was going to share because it's pretty recent, but I saw it hit the news. Have you heard? Texas A&M University named its new chancellor, Glenn Hagar, to replace retiring chancellor John Sharp.
Yes.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yes, 2 individuals with ties to the Victoria
I
area.
have heard.
Yes,
That is so, wow. Irony, but very cool.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, and I thought I would give a shout out. Anything that's kind of going on in current events, I like to bring to this program
Certainly.
as much as we can. So I thought that was interesting. Okay. So what else is going on? Anything else you want to share before we conclude?
We're just trying to keep our heads above water. This has been
That's how I feel.
This has been a period of activity. We liken it to a window of opportunity, and we've tried to figure out how and why this is happening. And so we've kind of figured out. We've got a pretty good idea that we think there's 5 forces, and I won't get into all of that are kind of coalescing around us that are creating great opportunities for Victoria. And so we know that window won't be open forever.
Yeah.
So we're just, VEDC, we're trying to do the best that we can while they're open to get as many of these jobs and investment opportunities for the region and for the city of Victoria.
Well, we are here supporting you guys, right behind you. So if you need anything, let us know. We're here, to help with that cause.
We greatly appreciate it, and we try our best to be as open and transparent and as accessible as possible. But by all means, always reach out to us. And we truly see ourselves as a public service organization, and that our constituents are all 290,000 folks that live in and around Victoria.
Yeah.
And we aim to serve them and make them proud and do a good job on their behalf.
Well, y'all are doing a great job. You and your team. You want to give a shout out to who's on your team?
Yeah, most definitely. Yes. So Sharon Bernard, our vice president, is the brains behind the operation.
Yeah.
And she is a Victoria native, and her heart is in everything that we do, selling and promoting the region. And we were able to bring in a key new team player. She's been here for a little over a year now, Diane Drussel. She and I worked together in Coppers Cove, Texas, and I knew that she was a bright, good, fantastic asset and fit, and we're able to convince her to come and move down here and join our team. And she's she's our face in the region and has really, really developed some fantastic relationships and also keeps our house in order. So
we all need those.
Yes, we are a lean organization. You look at economic development organizations around the state, and they have staffs of 7, 8, or even more. And so we try and be responsible and nimble and lean. But I'll put our team up against any in the state.
Yeah.
Diane recently completed her flight training, future leaders training through the Texas Economic Development Council. We're shooting that press release out today.
Awesome.
And last year she passed her certification exam for the International Economic Development Council that has an 11% pass rate.
Oh my gosh.
And then Sharon last year was named one of the top 50 economic developers in all of North America. So we've got a crew that we're very, very proud of.
Wish we had the applause.
Yeah.
Cue applause. Just kidding. We have a sound effect.
Yes.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for all the work that you and your lean team, because I feel it. We have a lean team over here too. I think a lot of different departments do. But ultimately, we all have a big heart for this community. And so having people on like you, this program, I just really hope for the residents who watch and listen brings that home. And so, we just continue to look forward to see what else you guys do and bring through the pipeline, through projects, through industry to Victoria. Yeah. And just look forward to supporting you guys with that. If you want to learn more, Jonas gave me this website, www.victoriaedc for economicdevelopmentcenter.com. So thanks again, Jonas, for being on the program.
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk to you next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to today's episode. Every new episode debuts every other Tuesday, so make sure to follow us, like us, subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.